In this New World video, we're gonna see if the Freedom perk stacks. Let's see if this perk is actually a best in slot perk. Let's go and test this perk together. To test this perk, I went to the market and I bought some armor with the Freedom perk. If you didn't know, the Freedom perk reduces your slows, stuns and silences by a few percentages. Each armor piece has a freedom of 7.5%. Which sounds weird, but basically it means that if I get stunned, the stun should be reduced by 7.5% for each piece of armor that I have on, with the perk Freedom. Knowing all this, first I'm gonna test myself naked with no armor on, then I'm gonna put one armor piece on, then two armor pieces, and then a full set, for a total of 4 tests at the same time. We're gonna compare the stun duration for all 4 tests at the same time. From this test, we can see that the Freedom perk does stack, but it's not reducing our stuns by the amount indicated on the armor piece. If we wear a full set of Freedom perk armor, we should get a reduction of 37.5% on stuns. But with this test, we only got 23.24% reduced in stun duration. If we compare the naked test with the one piece armor test, we got about 5.06% reduction in stuns. And if we compare it to the second test with 2 armor pieces, we also got about 5.07% of reduction per piece, which means that we're getting about a 4.6 to a 5.7% reduction per Freedom armor perk, which means that we are not even hitting the 7.5% reduction that we would expect per armor piece. But there's also some room for error, but still we aren't reaching the threshold indicated on the armor piece. Before I conclude that if this perk is actually worth it as a best in slot perk, I want to thank my twin brother, the Core Gameplay, for helping me with this test. He also makes New World videos, so go and subscribe to him and go check out some of his videos. So is the Freedom perk still a best in slot perk to take after Resilient? Well, it can be. What else are you giving up for the Freedom perk? You're giving up Refreshing, you're giving up Refreshing Evasion, and you're giving up the Inversion perks, which is Elemental Adversion and Physical Adversion. So the question is, if you were stunned for half a second less, would you survive? And my conclusion would be, yes, some battles you will survive, some you won't. But what if you had the Refreshing perk and you had some sort of movement ability that can actually block CC? Isn't it better to have more cooldown on your abilities than actually have the Freedom perk? So I'm actually not sure what to say here, but I would say that yes, Freedom is still a best in slot perk, but you have options. It will depend on your playstyle, on what you value more. Do you value getting stunned less for a half a second, or do you value more cooldown reduction, or do you value more resistance against elemental or physical by using the Aversion perks? What do you think? Is Freedom still a best in slot perk, or would you rather go with Refreshing or one of the Aversion perks? Let me know in the comments. If you've liked this video, consider subscribing. I post new World videos every week.